The first half of today, I tried to get work done and mostly failed. I got distracted a lot, wasn't as productive as I wanted to be. I had a long to-do list, and the tasks really weren't incredibly daunting, but they felt that way to me. And I didn't know why. It felt like just an off day, and it discouraged me because things like this have been happening a good amount. And it's been on days mostly like today where I have no classes and I have time to get work done, do what I want, all of the things that I've been complaining about not having time for because I'm in school. My biggest conflict right now, for the most part, is am I going to stay in school or am I going to leave school after the semester? And I think that I want to leave school, and yet on these days where I don't have classes and I have very little structure, and it feels like, okay, this is the time to take advantage of it, and like, if I'm not able to take advantage of this time now, I'm really in trouble for if I were to not be in school. Like, how am I going to handle that? And I do think like there is something to when like not having unstructured time for a while. It's kind of like they talk about like revenge, like I forget what it's called, but I've heard of something where like when you feel like you don't have control over your time during the day because you're so busy at night, like, and I will notice I will do this myself sometimes. I have a super busy day and then at night just like waste a bunch of time, and I feel like it's because I'm just sort of trying to take back some form of control over my time. And so it's sort of a similar thing here. I think we're like, after having a busy period, it seems like any free time you have, you should be able to take advantage of it because you're so busy and like you have no time to waste. And yet sometimes I think I'm just like almost out of practice with like dealing with unstructured time in an unstructured day. And it's something I have to kind of build good habits around. So I think both things are true. I could use some water. So midway through the day, I'm struggling and I'm sad because I'm just like looking at my list of things I have to do. I really could use some water. I don't think I have water. I'm looking through the list of things I have to do, and I'm just like, I don't want to do any of these things. Which is like pretty, I don't know, I just really didn't want to do any of these things. That's what I was telling myself. And again, it was not a big deal. It was literally like walk 10 minutes to get a package from the mailroom at my school and come back. And I was just like, I don't want to do that. And I think it was actually like, I really wanted something that felt like it was going to reward me. Like, I could have gone to get the package, but like, I wanted something that felt fulfilling in some way. And it was like, okay, yes, this is on my to-do list and I can check this off, but like, why would I want to go get that package? Like, after I come back with it, what am I going to do next? Like, I'm not going to feel accomplished, which is a kind of stupid way of thinking. I don't know. I don't know. But eventually I was like, okay, I have to just like go out, take a walk. And then I was like, okay, if I'm taking a walk, I may as well go get food. And then I was like, okay, well, if I'm going to go get food, I may as well, like, I've been working in my room all day, like in my dorm, I may as well like take my computer and my bag and stuff and go to the library after I get food because the library is on the way. I've been wanting to get out more and work in different locations, and why not mix things up? It's obviously not working, you know, what I have happening right now. And so I did that. I ate, and I think like easing into things can be good. Just like saying that you're gonna, when it feels like nothing is going right, saying that you're gonna do something and then doing it is enough to get some momentum going, more than I was having. And then I went to the library and was like, oh wow, the library is actually really cool. I definitely should have come here sooner. And because I'd never been, library is on my campus. I have only been here once, and it was to film a project. So I basically never been there. And I was walking through the aisles of books, and I was like, man, I love libraries. I love books. Why do I not come here more often? And already just like having a novel feeling from going to a novel place. I felt like stuck in my room. I have all these things that I don't want to do and whatever, and just like just completely out of it. And then like going to a new place, probably getting food in me helped a little bit too. It felt like it helped a little bit. I've heard sadness defined operationally as like a lack of perceived options, or I think like a dissatisfaction with the options that you have available. And so like I feel like by going to the library, I was sort of giving myself an option that I don't even consider. I wasn't even considering before. It wasn't even an option to me because I'd never been to the library. And so I know I wanted to go there, but like now it's like, okay, I have this option in the future, but also just for that one time, like I opened up a new opportunity. I did something spontaneous that I didn't think was like, I don't know. It's kind of like once you're sad and not productive and not satisfied with what's happening, like why not try something different? I don't know. This is like the most basic advice. It's not even advice, but like most basic observations. But yeah, and then I went to the library. I sat down with my computer. I started working on things, and I didn't even like mean to start working on things. I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna make a list. Like I'm gonna work on. I have a page in my Notion where my life is kind of somewhat organized. That has like all of my schoolwork with all of my due dates and, you know, not started, in progress, or done for each of the assignments, that kind of thing. And so I was like, okay, I'm just going to go through the website where all my assignments are, see what they are, put them in my Notion page. And that'll be like something I can get done, again, just kind of building up momentum. And then like I was part of the way through doing that, and like one of the assignments I looked at, I was just like, oh, like I kind of started looking into it further, and then I started reading, and I was like, I did the assignment. And I was like reading this like 50-page letter. To be fair, I didn't read the whole thing, but I read like actually the majority of it, and I doubt anyone else in my class will actually read it. But it was actually cool, and like I think of action, like, okay, I made a video before about, it's called Building a System for Lasting Motivation, yes. And it was about like giving myself reminders of the goals that I have and how I'm going to get there as often as possible, as a way to keep myself on track, reminded of where I'm going and why I'm doing it and how I get there, basically. Like, I want to be a full-time creative, so that means I need to make things, and then even like breaking that down further and saying like, make Instagram reels, make YouTube videos, make podcasts, whatever. And like one thing the reason why I made that video and why I tried to make some sort of system is because motivation is something that is just, I said in the video, like it ebbs and flows like the tides. You can't really control it, at least that I've found. Like I haven't found a way to control my level of motivation, and sometimes even like I'll get motivated and then not do anything, right? And so it's kind of like motivation is useful, but I don't know. It feels like something else is needed in order to get the work done that I want and need to do. And I think, so sometimes I am motivated, I get the work done, amazing. Those times, I don't have to worry about those times. I have to worry about times like today when I didn't want to do anything, and it kind of makes sense if I think about it. Like, I'm like scrolling through YouTube or something like to find a video to play while I work or whatever, which is another topic of like multitasking, I guess. And it's like, I don't know. It's a miracle that my brain would ever choose to do work over like watching some YouTube video or like scrolling through the YouTube homepage. Like, why would I want to do any of these more difficult, less rewarding tasks in the short term? And so that was just the mode that my brain was in. And I don't know, sometimes it happens where I feel like I'm just in short-term gratification mode, where I'm just like a slave to my instincts. And so I think in those cases, like, action precedes motivation. Yeah, like I only developed the motivation to do the work once I had actually started doing it. And like to expect that I'm gonna be motivated to do the work when I sit down or before I sit down to get myself to sit down is unrealistic. And I think I have that expectation a lot of the time, which is why then I'm like, I don't know, on these types of days I have trouble. And it's like, it kind of shouldn't really matter whether I'm motivated to do the work or not. I should do it. And listen, like if there are days when I end up starting to do the work and then like 15 minutes in, I'm like, man, this is not going well. Like I'm not, or half hour and whatever, like I'm not being productive. Like I'm focused on the work, but like it's not happening. Like it's not working well today. Or like I just don't want to work on this specific task. Like I want to, like, let me pick something else instead. Fine. Or just like today is an off day. Like, okay. But I don't know. I have to really give myself a chance and really like, I don't know. Once I started doing the work, I was like by the time I finished, I spent like almost like 2.5 hours ish in the library, a bit more. And like by the end of it, I was like craving more work to do, which is a crazy like opposite from where I was before. And so like, it's not just the opposite in that before I didn't want to do my work. Before I just felt like nothing I could do would satisfy or fulfill me. I think that's why it was so like such a just hopeless feeling, was I just felt like I have no good option. Like nothing, like I tried shooting a video. I did shoot a video, most of a video, and started editing it, and then I got to a point where I was just like, I just don't want to work on this anymore. Like I just don't want to do this anymore. And again, like with the package, I was like, what's the point in getting the package? I'm not even going to feel good after doing it. Or like, and again, like it sounds so stupid when I say it out loud, but I don't know, like I had all of these options of things I could do, and I was just like, why? Like, why do any of them? And again, by the end, it was like, I'm searching for more things to do, and I'm like, I was able to achieve such fulfillment from this work that I had, for some reason, just felt like I'm not being fulfilled right now in anything that I'm doing, and I'm like, I don't know what could ever fulfill me. I don't know. This has been an absolute raw rant, and yeah, I feel like this has been my worst podcast even calling it a podcast at this point is becoming a bit of a stretch. But I made a goal, a habit that I want to build, which is journaling in some form at least once a week. It was my goal to do the podcast at least once a week, but the last few weeks I hadn't made podcasts, and the reason why was mainly because didn't want to talk. I wasn't sure how publicly I wanted to talk about things that were going on in my life, and just like, I've mentioned this many times before, but like there's a certain pressure that comes with putting a video out on this channel or anywhere on the internet. And like, my family watches things, my friends watch things, and so that's just like an extra barrier that I want to like, it's an excuse that I have, and it's a kind of valid excuse as to why it's just another layer of friction in between me and journaling every week. And so I figured, okay, like, I'm just gonna say I want to journal in some capacity at least once a week, whether it's on this channel. I would like to continue doing these. I did one yesterday, I'm doing one today. That's crazy, that's never happened before. Whether it's just writing, whether it's recording something like this and then not posting it, who knows, maybe I won't post this one. Anything. Those are, I mean, a voice memo, like just anything like that. Because yeah, like that, I want to share stuff as much as I can, because I don't know, I think that I don't know, like maybe there's someone out there who gets something from listening to me. And I think it's also was cool to just like, for people to be able to look back on these things one day, me, myself included, and be like, oh, where was I at this time, where like this guy went through those problems too and struggled too, and like you can look at his catalog and all the titles of his videos and see all the things he's thinking about and all the things he's struggling with, and hey, that looks kind of the way my life feels like. So yeah, I'm just gonna do these as often as I want to. Who knows, maybe they'll end up being more often now that I'm with this new mentality, schedule, whatever. There's always some new mentality going on. I put up a little piece of paper, my desk, where I work most of the time and sit most of the time, and I'm gonna check off today. It's not a daily thing, like I said. I just want it to be at least once a week, but the fact that I see it every day, or every time that I sit here, is pretty good, I think, because I feel like it'll be hard for me to miss a week. Maybe I'll get into doing it most days. That would be awesome. I like making X's on pieces of paper. This one was a pretty shit one, because I was also trying to hold my phone. All right. Thank you for listening. I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, or night. And I will be back again at some point, hopefully soon. Bye.